How y'all doing?
Hey, yeah, come on.
Yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here. I'm K-Ruth. I'm a conscious artist out of Tampa. I consider myself a motivational speaker too, just because I started in the church at a young age, just speaking and, singing in the choir and things like that. So I just always want to use my own life as a testimony, just to beat the odds and overcome things. So when she asked me to come out today, I was very excited because I got a podcast I speak to. So the way I was going to open it up, I was going to say, God, grant me the serenity to change the things, to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's the scripture that came to me today, because a lot of us are, we don't get to pick our parents when we're born. We don't get to pick what family we want to be in. A lot of us are born into poverty. Some of us are born into wealth. Some of us are born with disadvantages, and some of us are born into dysfunctional families. You don't get to choose. You just got to go with what's given to you. And a lot of the methods that we use, a lot of the tactics that we practice, the habits that we use, the way we eat, the way we talk, the way we think, is usually passed on from generation to generation. And I grew up, in the family. I used to see domestic violence a lot. And I used to say to myself, like, how did they get to that point? How does two people that love each other and care about each other hurt and destroy each other? But it's a thin line between love and hate. And the thing about domestic violence, guys, once you in it, it's really hard to recognize it until you're out of it. And it's like a stray bullet, y'all. It'll hit you, it'll affect the people that surround you. So you just gotta be able to notice those things. Cause my family, I used to see it and I used to say, that's not gonna be me growing up. I won't ever settle for less. I won't ever be in a domestic violence situation. I'll always, just be strong. But, until you're in it, you're not able to recognize it. And so, I was just going to reference myself today because I was recently in a domestic violence situation, and honestly, I wasn't even the victim. I was the aggressor. I became the aggressor. And when I thought about my roots and where it came from, I realized that, the family I was in, they never sat across from each other, hashed out disagreements and things like that. They always would be violent, use verbal words to each other, and then sweep it under the rug like it didn't matter. So I didn't realize that I was a passive-aggressive person. I didn't realize that these things was abnormal until, I growed up. So you just have to be able to identify those things, identify if you're going through emotional abuse, identify, if you're in a physical abuse situation, because when I first was in it, I just started to have self-defense. I was like, I gotta defend myself, and over time, it made me want to be the aggressor. It's like, now that's my defense mechanism, to go 0 to 100. I'm ready to snap because somebody has done it to me, so that's what I know. So the way I want to end it today is just to let y'all know, in order to change domestic violence, in order to stop the violence in the world, it starts with self-control. It starts with self-love, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to break the cycle. And I thank y'all so much for having me today.
K-Ruth.